All right, let me use this opportunity to say a beautiful evening to you wherever your journey finds you listening right now. It's so good to have you join us. This is still the Unspoken Truth Tuesday edition, Which Way Nigeria, on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You already know that it is VOP, the station that gives you a voice every time, anytime, actually, any day. You have us to, voice your concerns, say your truth, say it the way it is, say your realities. That is why you have this platform to always, Now, I feel like there is somewhere I should even start tonight's conversation from, and that is the fact that, okay, what is today? Today is the 28th of, if I'm not wrong, that should be 28th of July, 2026, and you can tell, there is something about the end of every month. And, today being the 28th of July, for many of us now, it comes with a little hope. Oh, my salary is coming very soon. The hope that when that was something and something and something, but we are waiting. We're still struggling to feel the impact in our daily lives. And that brings us to tonight's conversation. We want to ask questions that matter to the ordinary Nigerian. When that oil sector grows, when billions of dollars enters that economy, that particular sector, investors now are trying to rush into the sector and say, okay, let's try and develop things. We put in this amount of money, billions of naira. When will the average Nigerian begin to feel the difference? Because now they tell you, oh, we've invested this amount of money and that amount of money into the oil sector. But when are we Nigerians going to feel of crude oil? I'm talking crude oil per day on a daily basis. But with this new funding, the funding of about 2.5 billion US dollars, with that funding into that oil sector, Dangote plans to increase the capacity of the crude oil they produce on a daily basis from 650,000 barrels to 1.4 million barrels per day by 2028. Now, do you know what that means? It means for Nigerians, what in simple terms, now they say Nigeria is witnessing fresh investment here and there. They say oil production is improving. They say more drilling rigs are active today than, a few years ago. They say reforms introduced under the Petroleum Industry Act are beginning to attract capital to that sector. On paper, when you read this on paper or you hear it in the news, it sounds good. Everything sounds so encouraging. More investment, more production, more opportunities, more billions of dollars. But then there is another Nigerian that I'm going to tell you. There is another Nigeria on the other side, the Nigeria where a father somewhere is still calculating whether he can afford to buy fuel and still have enough money. What exactly has gone wrong that we need to retrace now and work on it to make things better for us Nigerians? Well, you're still with me, Diola, and this is still the Unspoken Truth Tuesday edition, Which Way Nigeria. You already know that the station that gives you a voice is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. More than anything, we have conversations that affect the people. That is what we just do every Tuesdays. You know that very well. So let's look beyond the announcements now, beyond the news that we heard, and let's have a rewind of what this is supposed to be, of what Nigeria is supposed to be. Let's just take a little. We're just going to rewind a little and take a look at it. Now, for over 6 decades, that's 60 years, Nigeria has been an oil-producing nation. That one is no news. Everybody knows that we've always been an oil-producing nation. Commercial oil was first discovered in oil, that place in Bayelsa, Oloibiri, something like that. Bayelsa State, in 1956 thereabout. And exports began fully 2 years after 1958. Since then, still here, 2026. a quick one. If we even want to compare yesterday with today, Nigeria has lived with one of the biggest contradictions. I've not heard it before. I've not seen it, but I'm seeing it in the country. We've lived with the biggest contradictions in the global oil industry. You want to know why I'm saying this? A country blessed with vast crude oil, like we are so much blessed with that crude oil. We are even recognized as one of Africa's largest oil producers. We were exporting crude oil abroad, right? While importing refined petrol and other petroleum products for domestic use. Says by how much Nigerians are surviving in your current economy. Let's quickly look at some things that has changed in that sector over the years between 2022 and 2024. Let me just give you a flashback. You remember those years Nigeria's crude oil struggled so badly. Oil theft, it was a national embarrassment. Pipelines were vandalized. Illegal refineries spread across part of Niger Delta. International oil companies even began selling more of their onshore assets. And then production, which years earlier had averaged well above 2 million barrels per day, dropped in some months to earn healthcare, social development. And the president repeatedly described the subsidy as a burden the country could no longer carry. If you check that argument, that stance, it means if we stop spending trillions subsidizing petrol today, Nigeria can invest that money in some other things, to do some other things like the healthcare, the education sector, roads, and all that things. It sounded so logical. Economists debated it and say, oh, okay, fine, it could work. It is not a bad idea. But for millions of Nigerians, for you and I, that tomorrow still never come on. Say, okay, this is what we are going to see if we remove subsidy. We stop subsidizing petrol. The money that we've been using to subsidize petrol, we want to use it to make things better. From 2023 to 2026 hasn't been better. Because while the policy may have made it to the market and start to find out that, oh, this is the reason why bread is now very expensive, or this is the reason why we cannot even buy bread anymore. Not because the baker suddenly became very greedy, but because to produce that bread alone, the process of producing that bread is now very expensive. And one thing is the fact that every increase in fuel cost, it affects transportation. Let's start from there. Transportation now affects food prices. Food prices affect every household, except if you know the chop. Now, that is why oil is not just an energy story. It is not just an energy problem. The fact that Diola is talking about oil tonight, while we are having this conversation about the contradiction. We produce crude oil, we export crude oil, we refine crude oil, yet millions of businesses generate their own electricity every single day. Hairdressers, you go to hospitals. In fact, I've had one experience where I think we had that time on the show as well, way back when we were talking about the healthcare sector in Nigeria. There is this incident that happened. I saw this one. We rushed someone to the hospital that very day, and then they were supposed to have like a very urgent treatment to give to that person. There was no light. They now started saying, and there is no fellow. We will still first rush to go and get what? That's just to even still power the small generator. What we are seeing in the oil sector will reflect in our own lives. Are we going to see that happen? Because you cannot say development is complete until your people feel it. Until you and I feel it. So this is the conversation we should be having. You're still listening to the Unspoken Truth Tuesday edition. Which Way Nigeria on VOP 90.3 FM. Voice of the People is the name. Always, we give you a voice. And tonight we are asking a very important question. Diola, yes, every single one of us. The time is still coming as well. We've been having this conversation, asking question that Nigeria's oil sector is attracting billions of naira or billions of dollars, as a matter of fact, when it comes to investment. But are ordinary Nigerians feeling the impact on that development? Is TD. And it's created, there is this thing in economics. What is that thing called? I'm going to tell you. They call it paradox of plenty. Yeah, that is the word, paradox of plenty. And what does that mean? A country blessed with abundant natural resources. I don't talk about before, say God bless also. God really blessed Nigeria with so many natural resources. So paradox of plenty means a country blessed with abundant natural resources, yet many of its citizens continue to struggle. You know, when you look at all these surviving countries, they don't even have half of what we have in Nigeria. But then you now realize that they are doing well. They are doing very well now. At least the citizens are feeling, they are living life. The standard of living, it has turned to a sovereign wealth that benefits future generations. You take a look at their roads, you take a look at the healthcare sector there, their education, public transportation. Citizens can point where the wealth is going. Or you want to take a look at United Arab Emirates. Oil became a foundation for their economy. Today you have tourism, aviation, finance, logistics, technology. Everything is going well in that place as well. So the lesson is simple. This one now is not about if you have oil or not, but are you utilizing that oil to make things better for your people? Oil alone will not make your country prosperous. How a country manages its own oil wealth will make that country prosperous. Development. And talking about job opportunities, a lot of young graduates out there would definitely feel the impact, because the more you are expanding that sector, you are calling on more hands. Calling on more hands means the door is widely open for you to have something doing for yourself. You are creating job opportunities for people. In interpretation or by implication, when you create more jobs for people, you are also reducing the rate of crime in the society. And it is those set of people that do not have anything that they are doing that you end up seeing that, they found themselves kidnapping, or they found themselves going into ritual killings, or they found themselves theft, robbery, this and that, vandalizing. So when you create jobs, all of those things will not sit, right? Oil sector, you and I can feel it. We can feel the impact. And more importantly, we want to ask, what responsibilities do citizens? Yes, because I say you and I, we are both the government. Everybody is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. What responsibilities do citizens also have in ensuring that this national wealth delivers national progress? That as we are seeing the wealth, we are also seeing that this is improving in our community, this is improving in our society. Well, right after this break, we'll have this conversation. You want to be a part of the show? 0700-903-903-903. That is the first number you can call us on tonight. 0803-692-9933. That is the other number you can call us on tonight as well. On WhatsApp, you can reach us. You can send us your messages, or you can.
Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me. Oh, yeah. I want Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yes. I want to know. We want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. One more time. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Let's save Nigeria. Which way Nigeria is heading to.
That very sector, but when will ordinary Nigerians begin to experience that progress? Because you cannot just come and make it in the news. You cannot just come and make the announcement, or you just say something that makes it into the news, giving us that, well, this sector, this amount has gone into it, this and that and that. We should be measuring real development, real success by how families are surviving. Whether life is much more easier for Nigerians now. So, well, I've said so much. You've had so much from me, Diola, your radio night up partner. But let's come to you out there now. One thing that I'm just going to emphasize on for the government is the fact that what Nigerians understand is impact. You can come and tell us this and that and that. It is just like whenever we come and say, don't give us manifestos that you will not eventually manifest. That is exactly what Nigerians don't want to see. So if at all you're making this investment, you're funding this sector, you're putting in billions of dollars into impact, because from 2023, let's even start from 2023, May 2023, when the policy came that we will stop subsidizing petrol. Up till this moment, 2026, has anything changed for good, for better, or for best for you out there? So when we talk about oil revenue, money is coming in from oil, we have wealth and that. What is the first thing that a government should even, invest, use that money to cater, improve on? Is it electricity, healthcare, education? Because so many things need to be put in better place for us Nigerians, to make Nigeria a conducive or a comfortable place for us to live in. Electricity, healthcare, education, our roads, security, especially job creation. So you see definitely that there is so much to do. But when we talk about oil, when are Nigerians? What is your own one reform? And some people now will say, okay, first return subsidy, start subsidizing fuel back again. Some people will say, okay, well, you've removed it, but then let's look at this area. Another thing, we just want to put our heads together as one big family and have conversations that will, of course, improve, make our lives better in the country. So the time is now. Join the conversation through our phone line 0700 903 903 903. I'll call it again, 0700 903 903 903, or you call 0803 692 9933. You can also send us your WhatsApp messages or call us via WhatsApp 0817 175 6338, or you join us live on YouTube, Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
And that was there is a material we call cocaine. It was death sentence that followed that cocaine. And this man infected it, and the fact is too much. In this country, it is in this country people vote. In fact, our president is rooted in disobedience. For instance, the book of life says, because judgment against evil is not easily executed, the heart of man is said to do evil continually. You can look at the killings in Nigeria. Nobody has brought to book. Look at the stealing of money. Nobody has been sentenced. And we continue to see the sovereign weight of the people. Well, in fact, you have just talked about oil. There is a natural resource before California and Google it. Nigeria has.
I can't believe we lost that conversation midway. It wasn't done with us. It was still going to share a lot more with with Unspoken Truth family. But first, before we continue to get more, cause you had the man all the way from Badagry, and if at all, I'm just going to pick something just to summarize. Emphasis on the fact that we have a lot of things, but some of the issues affecting us is the fact that there is mismanagement, stealing, and oh my. Thank you so very much for your contribution. That was our first caller on the show. Well, quickly, let us come to you right now. Let us hear what you have to say as well. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Diola. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is Obi from Alimosho.
Obi from Alimosho, it's good to have you join us on the show tonight. Hello, Obi, can you hear us? Okay. Well, we could not hear a thing as well from Obi, but Obi, if you can hear me, you can try to connect with us again so you can be a part of.
Maybe you were looking at it that was the solution.
Okay, so what is the secret?
The secret is they are not telling us why they are not fixing our refineries and when they decided to begin to import. When we produce well, when we have fuel, when we have the oil here. You understand? If you look at it thoroughly, you find out that this is not to have any answer. How can you have such, to be blessed so much with oil and you decide not to refine? Rather, you sell your imports. It doesn't make sense. So I think there is something they know that they are not saying. And all of them come to the same that they go. Imagine him going. Jonathan came, did the same thing. Buhari came, did the same. And the one we have now, he's doing the same. So you see, there's something they are not saying,
but well, we have Dangote refinery now.
Yeah, the Dangote refinery is not our own. There are many Nigerians know that. You see, fast forward in 32 what I would say is that all these other administrations have gone. The one that we have now should be accountable to us. First of all, you see, what they have done all the while is that they have decided not to remove the subsidy. Even those, during the last 2023, when they were having a debate, all of them said they were going to remove the subsidy. But of course, they promised what they were going to do with that subsidy money. So the problem we have with the administration now is that it has not done anything at all to improve on the life of the people. That is the came and remove subsidy. That is the problem. Why would you go and remember? You see, we see them raising the frivolities, buying jets, all sorts of things. If you really want the money, buy the governors, spend billions campaigning to return back in power. Come and do what? When the people actually are dying, they are suffering. The other day, I've not used my car for some time, for like months. Now I just went the other day to see so that the things don't go bad. I went to buy some liters of my sister. When I bought this liters, I came back. I almost started dropping tears. I said, so does it mean this is what people go through? No wonder.
From Alimosho. Thank you for being a part of tonight's conversation. Indeed, it was a very necessary talk for us to have this evening. Have a good night for yourself.
Thank you very much.
In one word, what Diola is just going to say is that is our reality. The ordinary Nigerian reality. That is exactly what you can hear from, the two callers we had already on the show. The first caller mentioned something quite touching, very emotional for me. In fact, for a lot of people listening, you can tell that it is indeed a painful reality. telling us that right now, Diola, do you believe that I feed on Gary even when the weather is cold? You can imagine the rain. It's been a very rainy period for the last 1-2 months thereabout. But despite that period season, it says if it's on Gary. And listen to the last caller still telling us that, oh, he just decided, let me just even carry this car, make it no be like say he go spoil for house. You heard his own reality as well. So this is to say that we all agree on one thing, that we are not feeling the impact yet on our end. Things are not working the way it should. When we look at when we have a look at the education, something is still wrong. You look at this, something is still wrong. So that is why we are having this conversation on this platform, Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You still want to be a part of the show? 0803-692-9933. Let us have you. On WhatsApp 0817. Okay.
Like Nigeria, we have to go organize this country.
So what is the solution? Because I'm struggling to hear you clearly. I don't know if it.
Is that it is better that we start the revolution. That is only
Revolution. Oh, revolution. That is what you've been trying to share with us. That is the only way forward. Well, thank you so much for your contribution as well on the show tonight. Well, he has come to tell us that, oh, Diola, you see these ones they are saying a lot of things needs to change. And talking about revolution, it should start with who? You definitely know the answer. Well, this one is not really going with what we are talking on tonight. So most of the loans the government of the day are collecting. Hey. Okay, I'm going to take it again. Let's start from the top. Good evening, Diola. Good to be here tonight and good to meet you in person yesterday. I'm still getting to know. Okay, let's see. Who is this person? Oh, Stephen Pride from Isolo. That should be on the sports show with KZK yesterday where we had the presentation day courtesy of Yohako product. Thank you so very much, Stephen Pride. So let me take a look at, let's read the message again. It says, Diola, as for the Nigeria oil sector, for the Nigerian people, will never feel the impact in their lives as long as this present government are in power, because most of the product has already been mortgaged as a collateral to most of the loans the government of the day are collecting. Imagine just the most common product, PMS, how we get it at a very high cost. Every now and then the natural cooking gas goes as high as 2,500 per kg and 1,300 in this present government regime. Imagine. I remember the time where this cooking gas came into the picture, came to save us from kerosene. Oh, that kerosene was too expensive. After then, you can fill your cooking gas, your gas cylinder. You can fill it for 300 per kg, 250 per kg safe, as a matter of fact, 250 per kg. And then you want to fill like 6 kg, you're just spending about 1,500. But currently now you want to fill 1 kg of, gas, cooking gas. You'll be spending about 2,000 naira per kg. And you can actually tell that is the reality. So Stephen Pride is saying the only time we can feel the impact would be when this present government leave the helm of the affairs of the country. Okay. Thank you so much, Stephen Pride, for this insight. Stephen Pride says from Isolo. Usually he's always texting us from Isolo, but he says he is at home now in Satellite Town. Nonetheless, we appreciate you contributing to the show this very episode. I'm sorry that we might not get on, as much messages as possible and, going with just a few calls because, we just have a few minutes to call it a close on the show tonight. Well, one thing I'm just going to say before we wrap tonight's episode up is the fact you already know at Voice of the People 90.3 FM, we will not just tell you the news. We will not just report that, this is what has happened. We'll create that space for Nigerians to question, for you and I to question, discuss, and demand accountability from our government. Now, this has been Which Way Nigeria. Yes, Tuesday edition of the Unspoken Truth with Diola. Now, I'm just going to tell you to remember that the strength of Nigeria is not only in the resources. We are blessed with a lot of natural resources, but then how do we convert the revenue? How do we convert the good coming out from these natural resources to improve the standard of living for ordinary Nigerians? Because those resources should make life better, should make Nigeria better for us. Well, until next time, we'll keep asking the questions that matter. We'll keep talking. We'll keep asking, which way Nigeria? Well, I'm going to say thank you so much to every single one of you that was a part of the show tonight. For those that tuned in, listened to what Diola had to say on the show, those that followed us to the very end, you sent us your messages, you called in. Oh, thank you. A lot of people had so much to say, touching. And every time I say this, it just makes us realize that truly we are in this together, and we'll keep demanding for a better Nigeria from the current administration. But if you missed any part of tonight's conversation, or you feel the need to send it to someone that needs to hear it, someone in power that, please, come and hear what Nigerians are saying. Please, you need to make this better. You need to do it this way, do it that way, so that we can feel the impact on our own end, because then you are there to make life better for us. Yes, you can catch the replay on YouTube. You can just get the replay of this particular episode on YouTube, Voice of the People 90.3 FM. All right, remember that tomorrow is going to be another time with Diola in the studios. Wednesday Relationship Talk and Guess What edition of The Unspoken Truth. 9:30 p.m. I'll be in the studios, and then we'll have all talks about you and your partner, your relationship, your marriage. Do well and be a part of that very one. Remember the second segment as well. Well, we put a call through to your partner, reading to them sweet messages, and then they will have to guess who the sender of the message is. You know what we do now. So do not miss tomorrow's episode for anything at all. Across all social platforms, we are Voice of the People 90.3 FM on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and on X, VOP 903 FM. You can connect with Diola as well on social media. My name is Diola, spelled DE.OLLADE.OLLAA. That is the name. Until I'll be seeing you next time, my name is Diola, your radio night partner, and I'm saying to you, stay safe, stay well, and stay blessed. To have for yourselves a beautiful night rest. Good night, Nigeria.